Frozen.
Alright, everybody, it's time to talk about Frozen. No, not that Frozen. This Frozen, right here. From the writer and director of Hatchet, my favorite modern horror movie of all time, comes Frozen, about three young adults who get stuck and stranded up on a ski lift in the middle of the night. The place closes down and it's not going to open up again for like another 5 days, and they got to figure out how to survive. It's a very, very simple concept, one location, low budget indie film, and it works tremendously. I didn't know what to expect going into it other than that it was going to be a one location film and just a thriller. It's not going to be a slasher or anything like I love. So I went into it with an open mind and I really enjoyed this film. I highly recommend it to anybody. Whatever genre you watch, this is for you. This movie came out like 3 years or 4 years before Frozen by Disney. They stole the name. I think Adam Green should sue Disney. But this movie stars Emma Bell from Final Destination 5, The Walking Dead, Kevin Zegers from Dawn of the Dead, and Shawn Ashmore from the X-Men series and The Ruins. I think that's the biggest positive about this movie. It's just this cast. You know, we got Kevin Zegers and Shawn Ashmore, who are actually best friends in real life, and therefore it works on camera. They can show you all that chemistry and friendship that they have, and it just feels authentic. It's real. All these characters feel real. They're all likable. They feel like real people. The dialogue by Adam Green, it just feels like he just wrote what he would say with his friends. It just feels like real dialogue. It doesn't feel cheesy. It's not a real comedic movie. It's not hilarious or anything, but like you don't get bored by the dialogue because it just, I don't know, there's something about it. Everything they say, everything they do, it just feels real. Like they go through the list of things that you would do in that situation. Like you might be screaming at first, like, why aren't they doing it? But then they do it before you can finish your sentence. Like, oh, they're doing it. See, they're thinking like me. They check off everything you can think of, you know, like, what about the wires? Well, the wires are like razor sharp, right? There's a reason why they're made like that. To be able to do what they're supposed to do. They are sharp. They'll cut through your gloves and cut through anything. Chains. This movie just builds up suspense, and it's like Jaws almost. They even like reference Jaws. I know, blasphemy for me to say, oh, this movie's like Jaws. I'll tell you why, alright? Because they see death coming. Just like when Roy Scheider's like falling into the water, and they're on the boat, it's slowly sinking. Like throughout the whole third act of that movie, it's just slowly sinking. While they're slowly dying, they just see the inevitable coming. They reference Jaws in this movie too. Like the scariest part about being eaten by a shark is just seeing the fin, knowing that it's coming. And it's just so true. Like this movie, just like Jaws, it doesn't let you see the carnage that eventually does happen when a character falls down and there's wolves that come in. You hear it, but you don't see it. And that just works so effectively. You just see the characters, the other two up there just staring at each other. They won't look down. They just hear their friend screaming and gargling on his own blood. It's so effective. Another thing that makes this movie so effective is that it's all practical. You know, like the bones that pop out of his legs when he breaks them from the fall. Because I like that they had the one character who at the beginning seems like the tough one, the one who criticizes Shawn Ashmore, like, yeah, I'm sure you would have kicked that guy's ass. You're just, you know, treating him like he's just a wimp. But then the guy who's supposed to be the tough one is the first one to like leap off because he's like, fuck this, I'm out. But you see his bones poking through his skin. There is some gore in this movie, so don't think that there isn't. But it's just all practical. Like the set, it's in the wilderness. It's actually on like a ski lift. Some of it might be on a stage, but still outside. Like they might set up a ski lift, but it's outside the whole movie, and it's freezing, and you see it. You feel cold watching this movie. You almost want to like get a blanket around you. The characters, they slowly start getting like frostbite, and they're like rubbing their skin off. This chick falls asleep with her hand on the metal railing, and when she wakes up, she has to like peel her hand off of it. Just the sound effects, the practical effects, it just makes you wince, and I love it. I love a lot of shit about this movie. The score, it's effective when it needs to be, and the cinematography, the whole movie's like half night, half day. They're up there for at least like 36 hours. So they don't say how cold it is. I didn't do like research, like would they be dead in like 30 minutes? I don't know how cold it was. But they don't got cell phones. They left it in the locker. They don't know. No one knows that they're up there because the guy who was working the ski chairs left, and this other guy took his spot. He was like, 3 more were up there, and then these 3 other people came down, so it was like convenient. But those 3 people got mistaken for the 3 people that were still up there, so therefore they're screwed. Everyone's gone. And another thing I just love about this movie is the Hatchet alumni, all the familiar faces and voices in some spots. You got Schneiderman from Hatchet 3, you got King Hodder, who's driving like this big snowplow. You got the voice of Joel David Moore who plays Ben in Hatchet. You got Adam Green and Joe Lynch, the director of Wrong Turn 2. They have a little cameo. And the main character played by Shawn Ashmore, his name is Joe Lynch. But you even got like a cameo from Will Barrett, the DP, who also had a cameo in Hatchet 3. So you got all these familiar faces, and a lot of the people that made this movie made those movies. And I forgot to mention this one, you got Chad from Hatchet 2, who gets his face eaten up by the boat propeller. He plays the ski lift operator. He has a decent sized role in this movie. And the Newberry Comics, that logo that was on Ben's shirt in Hatchet 1, it's like a giant billboard at the ski resort that is named Haddonfield or Holliston. I think it's called Holliston Ski. The ski place is called Holliston, which is the name of the TV show that Adam Green made. Adam Green's ex-wife is in here. She was in Hatchet 3. She's his ex-wife now. They were married like right after this movie came out. But yeah, I could go on and on. Like these characters, they have arcs. The emotions that they go through, like the denial, paranoia. Is a thing gonna fall? The movie, like the way it's shot, it doesn't feel boring. It's not like a 3-shot the whole time, just them sitting there. They do all these different editing tricks to make it feel different, like each shot from different angles. It doesn't get boring. And knowing the premise of this movie, walking into it, you're like, well, isn't that going to get boring just watching people on a chair for 90 minutes? It actually doesn't get boring. But they just slowly start losing it, and it feels real. The acting is great on all 3 parts. I didn't think their acting was weak, and it requires a lot from them. But I think it's easier for them because, like I said, it's practical. So they're actually cold. Their breath's actually coming out. I really, really enjoyed this movie. The only criticism I have, it's just a little nitpick. And I'm like, and this, mainly it's just a question. And that is, would wolves really be like, the wolves, to me, they were like the shark in Jaws. Because in real life, you know that Jaws, the sharks, they don't really just hunt people and want to eat everybody every fucking like second, and they never get full. It kind of reminded me of that with these wolves, this pack of wolves. They were just so hungry, they ate one person, and they're just sitting there waiting for the other people. And it's like, really, wouldn't they just go somewhere else? Are they really that hungry still? But that's really only my nitpick. Is like this pack of wolves, they just felt like they were like a group of vultures. They're just like sitting there looking up, like waiting for them to come down. And I was just like, really? I don't think that's what wolves would really do. But I don't know. I'm not a wolf expert. It's just a nitpick. It's not really a real criticism. It's also just another reason for me to hate dogs. I'm not a dog person, and wolves, they're almost the same to me. But this movie was a fun thrill ride. It has great tension, great acting, great characters, great dialogue. And so therefore, when it comes to Frozen, to me, this movie is a thriller masterpiece. Those are my thoughts on Frozen. Have you seen this movie yet? It came out 10 years ago almost. I think 2009. Have you had a chance to see it yet? Go ahead, pick it up. You can get it on like Amazon for like less than $10. Blu-ray. It's a great Blu-ray. It has like a whole hour and a half worth of special features that will take you behind the scenes and show you everything. That's another thing I like about Adam Green, is all his movies have great special features. They document everything. And they always have at least like 2 commentary tracks. So if you're a commentary person, another great reason to buy this movie. But those are my thoughts. Let me know what you thought about this movie in the comments below. And as always, hit this like button if you enjoyed this review at all. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you can do so just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds to see more. And until next time, I'll treat this thing.